Am I the a-hole for not buying gifts for my ex's child? Ex and I share a 16-year-old son together. 6 years ago, he cheated on me and got the other woman pregnant, and I filed for divorce. We got married straight after but broke up, and then got back together. Right now, they are still together, but their relationship is turbulent, to say the least. Because of this, they often find themselves in financial difficulty, and their recently turned 6-year-old daughter has suffered because of it. I'm not part of her life. I never could be after he cheated, and my son is kind of the same. He was old enough to realize that Dad moving out and in with another woman who was giving him a baby sibling meant that Dad had likely cheated. I put him in therapy, but I never had it in me to be part of his half-sister's life, even if it meant he didn't make much of an effort to get close to her. The last year has hit everyone hard, but from what my son has said, X has been hit very hard. Things went to crap in his house, and he spent thousands fixing the roof, then a plumbing issue, and then a broken window. It was X's daughter's 6th birthday 2 weekends ago. X's parents always took care of getting my son a gift from him to his half-sister, but they never really got her much. X emailed me about our son. We needed to discuss medical stuff about our son, and then dropped stuff about buying his daughter gifts into those emails. I told him I would not be buying gifts when he kept dropping it in despite my ignoring him. My son said his half-sister got basically nothing for her birthday. Nothing special anyway, and she was sad. Max told me it was my fault, and I should have got her something as the mom of her brother. I was venting to one of my friends about it, and she said my ex is kinda right. That she was the affair child and she ended up in the spot of never being as wanted as her half-siblings, and feeling the impact of less people making less effort. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I really think the word audacity fits the situation. You're not the kid's mama/auntie. She's the kid of the side piece who backstabbed a married woman. You have zero responsibility to do anything other than not be mean to her kid or not block your son's relationship with her kid. Demanding you spend your money to please her kid? No. Yes, except I'd be more upset with my ex since it was his marriage and he cheated. Not stay home. Not stay home. Why isn't the ex buying a gift for his son to give his half-sibling? Isn't that usually how it works? You never ask the cheated on person to buy your new kid a present. Ever. Not stay home. The child is innocent, but you owe them nothing. You and the child have no relationship, and they should not expect anything from you. Info. How much time does your son spend with you and your ex? We had shared custody, but since last year he has been spending less and less time with him. If your son feels that he wants to provide her with a holiday gift this year, as in he decides as a big brother to do this not because his dad is guilt-tripping him, you could support him in doing that. You aren't obligated to finance such gift, but helping him to choose something age and interest appropriate might be a good bonding moment as mom and son. It could be an opportunity where you're actively acknowledging that the child is an innocent party without diminishing the shared pain that you and your son have from the entire situation. Completely agree that you're not the a-hole here, and based on what I've seen in my own family tree, start getting hands-on about responsible finance habits with your son if you haven't already. That includes setting boundaries. I wouldn't be surprised if your ex starts asking your son for help once he has a stable income of any sort. My ex told me it was my fault and I should have got her something as the mom of her brother. So, he's one of those guys who just pulls complete nonsense out of his butt? I would have fell on the floor laughing. Yeah, the child is blameless and is in a hard spot. But she also has absolutely nothing to do with you. There are hordes of innocent children in tough situations, and you owe this girl nothing more than you owe any other impoverished child. Also, the fact that your ex is so entitled to think you're obligated to fund his affair child's birthday gift is just total horse manure. With that sense of logic and entitlement, no wonder his life is in the toilet. Not the a-hole. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for demanding my ex give me back my family baby blanket after learning truth? This happened a few weeks ago. Baby girl I, 27 male, thought was mine has another father. 3 months after she was born, I posted pictures of her with my ex-girlfriend of 5 years. Guy reaches out to me saying he was with her, had no idea she was in a relationship, and baby might be his. Well, as it turns out after we did a paternity test, I'm not her father. My ex moved out of our apartment with her daughter and living with her mom for now. I've still been pissed off and hurt. Then I found out she took the baby blanket my great-grandma made herself when she moved out since I couldn't find it anywhere in my apartment. It's been passed down in our family whenever a new baby is born. Wanted to pass it down to my kids, so that's why I was given the blanket when my ex got pregnant. I drove to her mom's house and demanded she give the blanket back since I want to have it for my future kids. My ex didn't want to. I don't know if it's to be petty because it's not like she doesn't have other baby clothes, blankets, and stuff. But she claimed it was a gift for the baby, and you can't demand to be given a gift back. My argument was that the gift was meant for a baby that I was tricked into thinking is mine, and I would like it back because neither of them is my family anymore. We fought back and forth till she gave it to me. Her mom was telling me crap the following day. Then she went and complained on Twitter that I stole our baby's blanket. Most of our friends are calling her nonsense because everyone knows what went down. But still there are some who think I went too far with demanding to have the blanket given back. I'm not sure why. It's my family's blanket. And in the future, I want that for my actual kids. Not let it be taken by someone who lied and hurt me. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Simple. It is a blanket meant for your baby. This baby is not yours. If you had decided to raise the baby as yours regardless of DNA, I'm sure you would have let her keep the blanket. More than that, it's a blanket meant for Opie's great-grandmother's great-great-grandchild. This baby isn't in that line. In a sense, Opie's only stewarding the blanket on behalf of his family for the next generation. It isn't even really his to give away. Ex-girlfriend should have had the grace to leave it behind when she moved back with her own family. Not day home. Not day home. Put her on blast and social media with, and wanted a family heirloom intended for my child back. She lied about me being the father, and let me and my family get attached to baby that wasn't mine. Which is really worse here. Ditch anyone who sides with her after that. Everyone who's telling me this knows what she did to me, but they're looking at it like I'm taking this out on the baby by taking the blanket away. It's a family heirloom, not some random blanket you bought at Walmart. You aren't taking anything away from her baby. A baby does not need a blanket to survive. Not stay home. It's a family heirloom and that's not your baby. I'm sorry your ex made you believe the child was yours. I'm sure that was hard news to receive. Still hurts a lot, yes. I feel like an idiot, but I'm trying to process it. Glad to have it back though, and space away from her now. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my mother-in-law crazy and kicking her out of my husband's house because she wants him to basically leave me? My 24 female husband, 25 male, and I just had a beautiful baby girl 2 months ago. His mom is a self-made entrepreneur, and she's honestly an inspiration to me. She is strong, intelligent, had fought hard for everything she owns, and before I got pregnant, we got along just fine. She supported me in my professional decisions and never showed any sign of not approving our relationship. When we told my husband's parents that we were pregnant, his dad congratulated us and looked so happy to be a grandfather. His mom? Not so much. She quickly asked us what we were gonna do, and that if we wanted to terminate, she'd support us. She believed that we both had promising futures, and if we had a baby this early in our careers, we'll never fulfill our dreams. But my husband and I assured her that we had everything planned. We both agreed that I was gonna dedicate a year to our daughter, and then I was gonna get back on the field. We never asked them for a penny, and neither of us waited for them to fund our new lifestyle. My mother-in-law didn't like it. My husband had a good job, had just enrolled himself in a master's degree, and now he's gonna be a father and a breadwinner of the house. For her, it was too much on his shoulders. So a few days ago, she came to my house and proposed an experiment to me. She told me that during the rest of the year, I was gonna be a stay-at-home mom. I could go back to my parents, and this will allow my husband to come home and rest after a long day of work or school, and during the weekends, he could go to me and visit us if he had the energy to do so. I said that it wasn't fair, since she was our daughter and not just mine, and that she couldn't expect my husband to not have any kind of responsibility towards her. She said that after I ruined my husband's life with an early baby, that's the least I could do. That I was gonna grow comfortable after 1 year of doing basically nothing. And that if my husband was lucky, this would end in a divorce, which for her, it's the best outcome by now. I couldn't believe what she's proposing to me, and told her that she was crazy for even thinking that, and that our baby didn't appear magically in my belly. I kicked her out, and when my husband came home, I told him everything, and we decided to cut contact with his mom. But I can't get the fact that she said I ruined his life out of my head. I'm not planning on being a stay-at-home mom forever. And to be honest, I do want to get back to work. I'm an architect while my husband is an engineer, and I very much enjoy my career. He does come tired from work, but our baby isn't a big problem. She doesn't rip her lungs out when she cries, and we get to calm her very easily. Also, it's not like I'm home doing nothing. I do small projects for my friend's firm every now and then as a freelancer, and I have a position waiting for me there. My husband and I just decided that I had to remain available for our daughter the first year in case anything happens because this is our first baby. Now for the comments. Jesus Christ. Of course you didn't ruin his life. You were both at the conception, right? You were both there when you decided to keep it, right? Don't belittle your husband like his stupid mother does. Not day home. I was just coming to comment the same thing. His mother does know that it takes two to tango, yeah? She really does have no confidence in his abilities to adult, doesn't she? Not day home. Your mother-in-law is a straight-up monster. Mothers who get attached to their sons so strongly creep me the hell out. It was bad enough she suggested to terminate the baby, but her behavior now is just bizarre. Not day home. Not day home. Not only is your mother-in-law a jerk for saying something like this, but my parents waited to have kids, and my mom regrets it, as does my dad. They are not in their prime, and with a 7 and 10-year-old, it's hard on them. I'm entering college. Big jump in ages, I know. And my dad says how he had to actually ask for a downgrade in work and pay because he couldn't do as good a job to care for my siblings. My mom is in menopause, while my sister is going through puberty. It's like a war zone in the house. Have a child when you can enjoy it. You can enjoy your daughter now. You have everything planned. You're doing great. If your husband had a problem with this, he would say so. And he definitely wouldn't have agreed to cut off his mom if he agreed with her. I am not saying having a child later in life is bad. Just it's best for different people at different times. My parents would have been better having children at a younger age, while others may do better at an older age, while others shouldn't have kids. I'm sorry if my answer seemed negative towards any age group or parenting. Edit. Thank you all for all your inputs. My mother-in-law hasn't always been like this, but after we decided to have the baby, her behavior changed completely. I'll answer some of the questions you left. Again, thank you so much. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for losing my temper with my sister after she kept trying to get me to move with her and her family? I'm 27 female, and my sister is 32 with 3 kids and married. When I graduated from high school, my parents decided they wanted to move back to their home state. I stayed with my sister for 2 years while I worked to save money before going to college. While I am grateful to my sister and her husband for letting me stay there, I had no privacy whatsoever. My sister charged me an outrageous amount for rent when she told my parents she wasn't going to, nearly half my small paycheck. And I was expected to watch and babysit my nieces and nephew at a moment's notice, or just because. Like one morning, I woke up to not only my nieces and nephew, but their friends all in the house. And my sister and her husband had left to go to New Orleans without telling me. I was suddenly responsible for 3 kids plus their 4 friends. They were gone for 2 days. I missed work because no one else could watch the kids. I moved out as quickly as possible and now stay in a small apartment. It's not the best, but it doesn't have rats and roaches, and I have a roof over my head. I also currently work full-time instead of part-time. Lately, my sister has been on this kick about us moving back in together. I don't know what has brought this up. Something about how in other cultures families live together forever or something? Her and her husband have been making plans to move to Washington for better jobs and schools. Let me just say I am happy with the small town we live in. Will I like to move one day? Yes, but on my terms. She's been trying to convince me to come with them and live with them again. Each time I have declined because I know full well what will happen if I move back in with my sister. I voiced my concerns before, saying that I like living alone because I have my space, peace and quiet, privacy, and I'm planning on going back to school in the fall. Also, I will not be a live-in babysitter for her kids ever again. She keeps saying those things are in the past, and that I need to get over it. Yesterday, she sent me a link to a virtual house tour, saying this was the house they were thinking about buying, and it had a separate apartment in the basement I could stay in. Also that she would charge me rent this time. I admit I lost it. I called her and told her to not text, call, or email about me moving in ever again. I don't want to move to Washington, and I don't want to live with her. She called me ungrateful and claimed she only wanted to help me get out of this town, but I hung up on her. My parents called me later on. That today I need to apologize because my sister only wanted us to stay a family, and I didn't have to say what I said. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She wants a babysitter. Tell your parents that she charged you rent and did not pay you for babysitting. Also tell the parents that indentured servitude does not mean family. Info. How much do your parents know about what your life was like living with your sister? And if they know, do they care? Oh, they know. It came out a couple years ago about what happened, and all I got was, well, you were living with her. It was the least you could do for her. I paid rent, cooked, cleaned, and of course watched the kids. I was only working part-time, and she took $275 of my $400 paychecks. Lately, my sister has been on this kick about us moving back in together. I don't know what has brought this up. She needed a live-in babysitter that pays rent. Nobody else is going to do it, so she and your parents will hound you. Not a hole. I don't know what has brought this up. She's probably pregnant again. I hope not. She said she's been reading about how in some cultures, whole families live together. Parents, grandparents, kids, uncles, aunts, and etc. and wanted us to be closer as a family. I don't know if she's talked my parents into this.